Now this same city, this same hill, this same story enters the Christian tradition in a way that is equally staggering. Because it was in Jerusalem that Jesus of Nazareth spent the final and most significant days of his life. He entered the city on what Christians celebrate as Palm Sunday, riding on a donkey while crowds waved palm branches and called out his name. He cleared the money changers from the temple courts in a moment of righteous anger that the Gospels describe with remarkable vividness. He shared the Last Supper with his disciples in an upper room in Jerusalem. He was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane at the foot of the Mount of Olives. He was tried, condemned, and crucified on a hill called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull, just outside the city walls. And it was in Jerusalem that his followers first proclaimed his resurrection. For more than 1 billion Christians worldwide, Jerusalem is not just a historical location. It is the place where the most important events in all of human history occurred. And then there is the Islamic connection to Jerusalem, which runs just as deep and just as ancient. In Islamic tradition, Jerusalem, known in Arabic as Al-Quds, meaning the holy, is the third holiest city in the world after Mecca and Medina. The connection begins with the story of the night journey, one of the most significant events in Islamic faith. The Prophet Muhammad, according to Islamic belief, was taken on a miraculous night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem, and then ascended through the heavens to the presence of God. The place from which he ascended is believed to be the rock at the summit of Mount Moriah, the same rock on which Abraham prepared to sacrifice his son, the same rock at the heart of the Jewish temple. Over that rock today stands one of the most beautiful buildings in the world, the Dome of the Rock, completed in 691 AD and still standing after more than 1,300 years. Its golden dome catches the light of the Jerusalem sun and is visible from nearly every point in the city. Beside it stands Al-Aqsa Mosque, the place where Muslims gather for Friday prayers in their hundreds of thousands. For Muslims, this compound, known as the Haram al-Sharif, or the Noble Sanctuary, is the place where heaven and earth once touched, where the prophet stood before God, where the journey of faith reaches its highest point.
What makes Jerusalem unique in all the world is that these three traditions are not simply neighbors in the same city. They are layered on top of each other in the most literal possible sense. The same stones, the same hills, the same ancient sky. The Western Wall sits directly beneath the Dome of the Rock. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands just minutes from both. In the narrow streets of the Old City, you can hear the Jewish call to prayer, the Muslim adhan, and the ringing of Christian church bells within the same hour. The Old City of Jerusalem is divided into 4 quarters: the Jewish quarter, the Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, and the Armenian quarter, each one distinct in its architecture, its sounds, its smells, its rhythms. And yet they share the same 8 square kilometers of ancient walled city that has stood at the center of human civilization for 3,000 years.
The city has been conquered more than 40 times in recorded history by Egyptians, Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, Arab Muslims, Crusaders, Mamluks, Ottomans, the British Empire, and in modern times, it has been at the center of one of the most complex and painful political conflicts in the world. Every empire that ever rose to power in the ancient and medieval world eventually turned its armies toward Jerusalem, and every one of them believed they had the right to possess it. Because to control Jerusalem was to control something that went beyond politics and strategy. It was to hold in your hands the most sacred place on earth.